In late 2014, an event unfolded that sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the entire world. Sony Pictures, one of the biggest and most powerful movie studios on the planet, was brought to its knees by a massive cyber attack. Emails, unreleased movies, financial data, and personal information. Everything was stolen and leaked. This wasn't just a simple hack. This was digital warfare. At the time, Sony was getting ready to release a comedy called The Interview. The plot was simple yet audacious. Two journalists are given a mission to assassinate the leader of North Korea. From the moment it was announced, the film was incredibly controversial. Many people, including political experts, warned that a movie like this could create serious international tension. And as it turned out, they were absolutely right. Weeks before the public knew anything was wrong, hackers had already silently infiltrated Sony's internal network. They weren't loud or reckless. They moved slowly, carefully, and methodically, studying the entire system from the inside out. They quietly stole employee login credentials, copied thousands of private documents, and planted destructive malware that was designed to wipe Sony's servers clean. All of this was happening completely undetected. No one at Sony had any idea of the digital time bomb that was about to detonate. Then, on November 24, 2014, everything erupted. Sony employees arrived at work, turned on their computers, and were met with a terrifying sight. Instead of the usual login screen, a chilling image of a red skull appeared with a threatening message. It declared that Sony had been hacked by a group calling themselves the Guardians of Peace. The message demanded that the studio cancel the release of The Interview and warned of severe consequences if they failed to comply. Almost instantly, Sony's systems froze. Email access was cut off, critical files were deleted. Servers began to crash one by one. It was total and utter chaos. In the days that followed, the true scale of the attack became clear as the hackers started leaking the stolen data online for the world to see. First came unreleased movies, appearing on file-sharing sites. Then came the bombshells: celebrity salaries, the personal data and passports of thousands of employees, and countless private emails. Some of these emails exposed embarrassing conversations between top Hollywood executives, sparking public drama and damaging reputations. This was no longer just an attack on a company. It was a direct assault on privacy, trust, and the very fabric of Hollywood's inner workings. As the crisis deepened, cybersecurity experts and federal agencies, including the FBI, launched a full-scale investigation. After meticulously analyzing the malware's code, the communication style of the hackers, and the overall attack pattern, authorities came to a stunning conclusion. The attack was linked to a notorious state-sponsored hacking collective known as the Lazarus Group, which is widely believed to be connected to North Korea. The motive seemed clear. This was retaliation for The Interview. In the end, Sony did release the movie, but the damage was done. They opted for a limited theatrical run and a wider release online. The attack cost the company an estimated $35 million in damages and repairs, but its real impact was far greater. It served as a brutal wake-up call for corporations everywhere about the realities of cybersecurity. The world learned a powerful and unsettling lesson. In our modern digital age, something as seemingly harmless as a movie script can ignite a full-blown cyber war. Today, the Sony hack remains one of the most famous examples of just how powerful and dangerous cyber attacks can truly be. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the biggest threats aren't the ones you can see, they're invisible. Thanks for watching. In late 2014, something happened that didn't just shock Hollywood. It shook the entire world. Sony Pictures, one of the biggest movie studios on the planet, was suddenly and completely shut down by a massive cyber attack. Emails, unreleased movies, financial data, celebrity salaries, everything was leaked. This wasn't just a simple hack. It was digital warfare, and it all started with a comedy. At the time, Sony was getting ready to release a movie called The Interview. The plot was simple, but incredibly controversial. Two journalists are recruited to assassinate the leader of North Korea. From the moment the trailer dropped, people knew it was going to cause a stir. Many believed the film could create serious political tension, and it turns out they were absolutely right. The movie didn't just get a few bad reviews. It caught the attention of some very powerful people who were not amused. Weeks before the public knew anything was wrong, hackers had already quietly slipped into Sony's internal network. They moved like ghosts, slowly and carefully, mapping out the entire system. They studied how everything worked, where the valuable data was stored, and how to cripple the company from the inside. They stole login credentials, copied thousands of private documents, and planted powerful malware designed to destroy every file it touched. All of this was happening in complete silence. No one at Sony had any idea that their digital fortress was about to come crashing down. Then, on November 24, 2014, the attack erupted. Sony employees arrived at work, turned on their computers, and were met with a terrifying sight. Instead of their usual login screens, a gruesome red skull filled their monitors, along with a threatening message. It declared that Sony had been hacked by a group calling themselves the Guardians of Peace. It demanded that Sony cancel the release of the interview, and it warned of severe consequences if they didn't comply. Almost instantly, Sony's systems were frozen. Email was gone. Files were being permanently deleted. Servers collapsed one by one. It was total chaos. An entire global corporation was brought to its knees in a matter of hours. But the hackers were just getting started. Over the next few days, a flood of confidential information began appearing online for the world to see. Entire unreleased movies were leaked. The salaries of top actors and executives were posted publicly. Thousands of private emails, employee passports, and sensitive personal data were dumped onto the internet. Some of the leaked emails were incredibly embarrassing, revealing private conversations between Hollywood executives that sparked public drama and ended careers. This wasn't just an attack on a company. It was a deeply personal attack on privacy, reputation, and trust. As the chaos unfolded, cybersecurity experts and federal agencies, including the FBI, launched a massive investigation. They analyzed the sophisticated malware, the hackers' communication style, and the overall pattern of the attack. After sifting through all the digital evidence, the authorities came to a shocking conclusion. The attack was linked to a notorious state-sponsored hacking collective known as the Lazarus Group, a group widely believed to be connected to North Korea. Their motive? Retaliation for the movie The Interview. In the end, Sony did release the movie, but not in the way they planned. Fearing physical threats against movie theaters, they opted for a limited theatrical run and a wide release online. The attack cost Sony more than $35 million in damages and forever changed how major corporations think about cybersecurity. The world learned a powerful lesson that day. In the digital age, something as seemingly harmless as a movie script can ignite a cyber war. Today, the Sony hack remains one of the most famous and chilling examples of just how powerful and how dangerous cyber attacks can be. Because sometimes the biggest threats aren't the ones you can see. They're invisible. Thanks for watching.